traders are on alert as we get closer to the SEC's January 10th deadline to approve spot Bitcoin ETFs.
Every trader, every investor is on alert. 10-plus spot Bitcoin ETF applicant is waiting for the January 10th deadline. Everybody wants to see how Bitcoin works after the ETF launch. Is Bitcoin going up? Or what if Bitcoin's price drops? Listen to Anthony Pompliano, the Bitcoin expert on CNBC, explains why there is so much anticipation of Bitcoin ETF. This is what happens next.
The degree of anticipation of this and how it's made its way into the market is extreme. How is it not just an anticlimax when it happens?
Wall Street is getting invited in anticipation of the greatest show on earth, right? Bitcoin has been the best performing asset for the last 15 years, and Wall Street's basically been boxed out of it. They haven't had access to this asset. And so I think that's what you're seeing in that pent up excitement. One thing that I do caution these Wall Street investors is you can't trade this like other assets. We saw just yesterday about $1 billion of open interest got wiped out. The guys over at Reflexivity Research did a fantastic job outlining, saying, this asset in 2021 went up almost 800% from before the pandemic started to the kind of the top of the market.
Yeah.
During that time, there was 30% drawdowns. If you're going to try to get levered long and think that, hey, ETF gets approved and this thing just goes to the moon, you're likely to get shaken out or get liquidated.
That is really good advice. Just beware of the volatility.
This thing is on a risk-return basis, it's by far the most attractive asset in all the financial markets, but it comes with tons and tons of volatility. And so if you go back to 2017, it was $1,000. We're up 45x since 2017. But along the way, we've had two 80% drawdowns, a plethora. I can't even count how many, 30+% drawdowns. And so Wall Street is saying, hey, the ETF's coming, here we go. Now, I do think over a long period of time, Bitcoin's price is going to continue to go up. We're going to have a persistent bid from all these ETFs. Another thing people aren't talking about, everyone's talking about the primary fund flows. So retail or institutions buying this ETF. But actually what we're starting to see now is other publicly listed funds or ETFs are changing their prospectus to say that they can put up to 15% of their AUM in the Bitcoin ETF. So if you have the best performing asset and you got an ETF that's lagging, why would you not put Bitcoin in your ETF?
Another big news for Bitcoin hodlers. The Bitcoin halving is now less than 100 days away. From halving 2 to halving 3, Bitcoin pumped from $600 to $10,000. That's 17x. The question is, where do we go on the fourth halving? Listen.
Let's go straight actually to the halving or the halvening. Yep. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it happens every 4 years.
You're a believer in the logic behind it?
Yes, it makes sure central governments can keep producing new currency, which creates inflation. Bitcoin was created the other way to reduce the supply, which makes it more deflationary. So it's a great mechanism they built into the system, and it happens every 4 years, and it's scheduled to happen next April 27th, around roughly that date, and so right around a year from now. And you're going to start seeing a lot of media frenzy start happening 6 months to, around that should start happening, and then you'll start seeing the price run up a little bit.
So Senning predicted that the Bitcoins will surpass $50,000 before halving. Do you agree? Let us know your thoughts in comments section below. See this report of K33 Research. A crypto assets research firm says spot Bitcoin ETF approval has 75% probability of sell the news event. Senior analyst Vettel Lund assigns a 75% probability to the sell the news scenario, a 20% chance of approval, and a 5% possibility of ETF denial, even with recent positive signals from meetings and updated S1 prospectuses with the Securities and Exchange Commission. So is the spot Bitcoin ETF will be sell the news event? Listen.
Why shouldn't we believe that the Bitcoin ETF approval isn't a sell the news event? It seems like there's so much riding on this approval. There's so much of the rally predicated on that when it happens, what next?
Yeah, right. Listen, as a trader, my gut always tells me things go higher, I get a little bit scared, right? So I do think a lot of the speculative fever around the ETF is probably reaching a crescendo this week. So yeah, could we get a sell-off? Sure. But I think that would be a sell-off, a dip to buy, because remember, there are still a lot of people that have not been able to buy Bitcoin for their portfolio. So even a 1 to 2 to even 5% allocation in IRAs or from private wealth managers, they're going to be buying the ETF over the year.
If you agree with Brian, let us know your thoughts in comments section below. Like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Stay tuned for the next video.